This is Luke Paulson, the Catholic Conservative, and welcome to the news of the week for
September 30th, 2023.
And if you enjoy these videos, do not forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe for more.
Apartment intruders stopped. Since it has been a while, welcome to the latest installment of
The Second Amendment Saves Lives.
Two thugs broke into an apartment in Florida at 2 in the morning. The resident shot one of the intruders, who was soon pronounced dead. The other received treatment at the hospital. These two thugs did not care who got in their way as long as they got their payday. They would undoubtedly have killed the resident had he not defended himself. If the resident had to wait on the police, they would have had to bring a body bag for him. Restrictions on gun possession only apply to law-abiding citizens. They do not apply to criminals or Hunter Biden. Brandon arms terrorists again. It was not enough for this administration to leave billions of dollars of equipment to be stolen by the Taliban. Brandon also had to give billions of dollars to another terrorist state. $6 billion. That is how much Brandon gave to the terrorist state of Iran for a hostage exchange. That is roughly $1.2 billion per hostage. I am sure that there was a way to get these men home that did not involve negotiating with terrorists. If we have that kind of money to spend. There are about 20,000 homeless veterans in America, mostly in California. That is roughly $300,000 per homeless veteran. We could feed and house every one of them for a year. Instead, this money is going to be used to buy bombs and bullets, as well as training for soldiers to go out and kill Americans with impunity. I am glad that these men are home, but at what cost? Identifying as dogs. This world gets crazier and crazier with each passing day that we do not obey God's authority. All people have to do is follow his instructions and everything else will work out. I take you now to Germany, where over 1,000 individuals gathered to protest that they can identify as dogs. If you can identify as whatever sex you want, if you can identify as whatever ethnicity you want, why not identify as whatever species you want? Liberals will say that is absurd and nonsensical. However, each time that you justify an abomination in your mind, you will be able to justify another abomination. If they are dogs, should they be spayed and neutered? If they are dogs, can they be owned by a human? Is that really the kind of world that you want to live in? Keep ignoring God's will, and things will keep getting worse. Canada praises a Nazi. Canada is a socialist country. Therefore, it would make sense that they would praise a National Socialist. Their parliament gave a standing ovation to a 98-year-old Nazi. He defended Ukraine against the Russians during World War II. The only catch is that Russia was our ally during World War II. This means that he was fighting against the Allies. Not just that, this man was an SS soldier. Canada's parliament decided to praise a soldier of one of the most deplorable despots in recent history. Now, on the other hand, if he was a truck driver, he would have had his property confiscated. Damn! Another Democrat bribed. Bob Menendez is a Democrat who has been accused of bribery. The case is going before our justice system, which is so horribly flawed. But there is little else that can be done. The senator's safe includes several envelopes amounting to over $500,000. According to the prosecution, the envelopes bear the fingerprints or DNA of people from whom the senator is accused of taking bribes. His fellow Democrats are calling for him to resign. This includes Fetterwoman, who pledged to return the donation made to his campaign from Menendez. Something tells me that this has absolutely nothing to do with justice, but has everything to do with making his party look bad. Refusing to hire women. There is one thing that both Democrats and Republicans as a whole never seem to learn. Just because a law is written to do good does not mean that it will. There are countless examples of this, but let me talk about a more recent one. The Pregnant Workers Fairness Act mandates that simple changes be made for women who are pregnant. That sounds like a good idea, with the best of intentions. What could possibly go wrong? It turns out that if an employer may have to pay more or make special concessions if he hires you, he may be less likely to hire you. After all, if he fires you for not doing your job, you can sue him. If he does one wrong thing, you can sue him. The only ones who win in this scenario are the lawyers who bring these suits to court. This will lead to even fewer women employed. Mark my words. Another conservative targeted. After years of waiting, the women who accused Russell Brand have finally decided to say something. Several anonymous women are making claims about what he did to them from over a decade ago. Why did they wait so long?
Only Poppins would know.
Even before there was a trial, YouTube decided that he was guilty. The UK Parliament even sent a letter to Rumble begging them to demonetize his channel. They do not have freedom of speech in that country. But I would not be surprised if Congress tried that in America. Oh wait! The White House already gives orders to Facebook about what to censor. Rumble declined to demonetize the channel on principle. If Rumble's leadership did not stand on principle, no one would have any hope. In short, freedom is hanging on by but a string. Men game before women. We all know that men are dominating in women's sports. More often than not, it is the men who could not win in the men's division, but upon transitioning are suddenly at the front of the pack. This is not just true in athletic sports. For those of you who have never gamed before, it is not just something that is passive. You need to be very active in your response time, and this requires heightened reflexes. Now, while this is nowhere near the scale of the MMA where women need to be sent to the hospital, I bring you to the LCS Game Changers. It is a competition for women gamers, but is filled with biological men. Even if there is not nearly as much of an athletic advantage, men are still taking chances away from women. This is the real war on women. The actress was not fired. Rachel Zegler is playing a princess from a German fairy tale. Despite what some in the media have been saying, she has not been fired. Disney is operating on the sunk cost fallacy. This means that because they have put so much into it, they cannot risk losing that now. Even though if the movie flops, they will lose even more. Zegler has been fired from Paddington 3. I, however, have no intention of watching either, as both will be filled with irregular Hollywood propaganda and thus not even worth it. Gates welded open. There was once a president who tried to secure the border. Even though he was doing what Democrats like Bill Clinton talked about, he was racist. He tried to secure the border, but the wall is left unfinished. Then, even the parts that are finished have been welded open. It is like leaving the screen door open so that bugs do not get in. Then Governor Abbott tried to finish the job by putting up razor wire, until Federal Border Patrol started cutting it. Then he put up razor wire on buoys to stop the illegals. He was attacked because it was not nearly enough to do the job. However, it was apparently enough to stop some crossers. Now the Biden administration is suing him, saying that he is blocking natural waterways. If he had finished the job, all that money would have been lost, and the border would still be unsecure. Maybe I'm just blowing smoke. Maybe I'm completely off my rocker, but that is just my opinion. Now don't forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe for more. But before you go, on the left I have last week's video, but you may also enjoy the video on the right.